Why in America are Muslims so hated? They're talking about Sharia law coming into place and how Sharia law is so bad and that it's going to take over America. When you look at the way people's daughters dress today, the way people's wives dress today, in the Quran, it tells women to cover up. It tells men to dress modestly as well, and it tells men to lower their gaze. We wouldn't have this problem of people objectifying themselves and calling it freedom. Is Islam really that bad? Is Islam really this evil religion? Islamic law would make this country so much better. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, everybody. Peace and blessings be upon all of you. Why in America are Muslims so hated? Why is there so much propaganda against Muslims in America? There's questions to these answers, and there's a lot of reasons for it. You know, in the last year, there have been very high, tense protests in Dearborn, Michigan, and in Dallas, Texas, where there's heavily Muslim concentrated populations. You know, down in Dallas, they have a whole Muslim community there, and there's lots of leaders in that community that are protesting against Muslims having a mosque and building neighborhoods, etc., because they're talking about Sharia law coming into place and how Sharia law is so bad and that it's going to take over America and everything. Number one, if any of you have seen that Spider-Man movie, the animated one, where he's talking about chai means tea, it's like saying, do you want cream with your coffee? Sharia means law in Arabic. And part of Sharia is being kind to your parents, donating to the poor, praying 5 times a day, being generous to those that are in need. This is Sharia law. Being nice to each other and not objectifying women, not using drugs, keeping yourself modest, keeping yourself clean even. This is Sharia. So what's the problem here? You know, there's a lot of rhetoric. If you turn on any news media station, there's a lot of rhetoric out there that is pushing this anti-Muslim propaganda. There are political figures that are pushing hate towards Muslims. News stations that are pushing hate towards Muslims. See, there's a bigger reason for all of this. Is Islam really that bad? Is Islam really this evil religion for people to follow? Or is this something that's being pushed onto us because people that have a lot of money and have a lot of power don't want Islam to become very popular or have so much influence in America? So in Sharia, in Islam, we don't have gambling, we don't have interest, we keep ourselves modest and covered up. So we have we don't drink alcohol, we don't use drugs. Think of America today. You know, how many countries are openly selling weed, mushrooms, alcohol? We have casinos that are generating who knows how many millions of dollars from gambling. We have the housing market that is all based off of interest, the car market that's all based off of interest. What happens when you can't afford those loans on those cars or those houses? I mean, look at the housing market crash in 2008. I mean, these things don't happen when Islamic law is put into practice properly, because Islamic law protects the people from predatory loans in the first place. It protects the people from using drugs and alcohol and creating these societies that you see in San Francisco, New York, DC, Baltimore. I mean, basically every major inner city where there's so much rampant drug use. I mean, you can joke about it, like the fentanyl that you see over in Baltimore or wherever, where people are on fentanyl and they're just like zombies. They're leaning halfway over and they're just like standing there, half bent over, and they can't move or speak or do anything. In Islam, we don't participate in any of these activities. So what would happen if there were so many Muslims in America, or so many people in America that accepted Islam? All of these markets would end up crashing. All of these people would stop making so much money. We have our own banking system in Islam for buying homes. That's not based off of interest. We have our own systems in place to protect people from using drugs and alcohol. And these markets and these businesses that generate so much profit for the government would go out of business. So it is not in America's best interest, or in the West in general, to have Islam be so popular. So when you see all of this anti-Muslim propaganda, check and verify the information that you're listening to, because I guarantee you that a lot of that information that they're telling you isn't true in the first place. It's just stuff that one guy told to another guy that told to another guy. It's on the news, and they heard it from this person, they heard it from that neighbor. It's all lies and misinformation, or at least the information that they're telling you has been misconstrued and turned into something that it's not, because they want to demonize Islam and make Islam look bad so that they can keep making profit off of all of these things that Islam is against. But if society were to truly follow Islamic law, it would be a much better society. Now, I'm not going to speak about Middle Eastern countries because, as many people know, as many Muslims know, there's not a single Muslim country out there that is properly practicing Islamic law. Now, there are many that are practicing the law better than others, and that are definitely doing it better than America. I mean, we just have so many issues here that could be cured by people accepting Islam. When you look at the way people's daughters dress today, the way people's wives dress today, in the Quran, it tells women to cover up. It tells men to dress modestly as well, and it tells men to lower their gaze. We wouldn't have this problem of people objectifying themselves and calling it freedom. You know, just walking around in booty shorts and sports bras and stuff, just walking around the grocery store. I mean, that doesn't happen under Islam. Is that something, you think about that, it's like, okay, well, people can dress the way that whatever they want. Is that something that you want your mom to dress like? Is that something that you want for your sister or your daughter or your aunt or your cousin? I can guarantee most of you are going to say no to that, right? But the men too. We need to make sure we lower our gaze and that we don't objectify women and look at them inappropriately and creep on them, right? I mean, all of these things following Islamic law would make this country so much better, you know? I mean, I've heard other Muslim influencers say, like, even if they followed Christian law, it would be better than it is now, because America doesn't follow Christian law, right? But the main thing is that propaganda is being pushed against Muslims for a reason, because all of these industries would fall apart, break down, and all of these companies and all of these multi-billionaires would lose their money because Muslims do not participate in taking on interest loans, in alcohol, in drug use, in gambling, in dressing immodestly. And we're even supposed to really be more of a minimalist than anything. Be content with the things that we have, not just get into this buy more culture, right? So even Tucker Carlson on his network said that when he was on the major news media outlets, he'd have like the CIA come to him and tell him, hey, you know what Islam means? It means submission. And he would say it like as a scary thing, and Tucker Carlson just started laughing. He was like, I thought that was kind of the whole point of life, is to submit to God, right? So that's what Islam means, submission to our Creator. You know, so this guy, Tucker Carlson, that was on major news media outlets, that was spewing hatred towards Muslims for a long time, is now on his own network talking about how Islam is not really this demonized evil religion that people make it out to be. always, as I say in all my videos, go and do your research. Don't just listen to these reels and these videos of people telling you what Islam is or isn't. Go and do your research. Read the Quran, read Hadith, go ask scholars, go and sit down with a Muslim and ask them conversations. Not just your friend, because there's plenty of people out there that are Muslims that don't practice. They eat pork and they drink alcohol and they go to clubs and they go out dating girls and everything. And this is not Islam. You look for the more righteous Muslims, the more knowledgeable Muslims. I advise going to a mosque and speaking to one of the sheikhs there that will give you the information that you need, because Islam would create, if followed properly, a perfect society. It really would. So, take everything I say with a grain of salt too. Go out and do your own research on this stuff. Fact check me on this stuff. Always though, like, share, and subscribe. And until the next one, everybody, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد